Is it time to reevaluate the higher-risk biotech stocks that have been punished so brutally over the last 6 months? Later tonight, I'll tell you why it's important to be very, very careful when you're speculating in the biotech cohort. But right now, I want to zoom in on a particular stock that's been a real punching bag of late, and I don't think it should be. I'm talking about Ceres Therapeutics, that symbol MCRB. Ceres has an intriguing niche. There are trillions of tiny bacteria that live in your intestinal tract. Normally, when that bacterial ecosystem is imbalanced, they're essential to your health. Sometimes they can become unbalanced in ways that make you sick. Ceres is devoted to creating drugs that will restore the balance in the bacterial ecosystem that makes it home in your intestines. Their lead compound is designed to prevent the occurrence of CDI. It's an inflammation of the large intestine that's one of the worst antibiotic-resistant threats out there. This is a disease that can be treated with antibiotics, but the same antibiotics that cure it also cause the kind of bacterial imbalance that leaves you vulnerable to getting infected all over again. Anyone who has had a parent or an older person knows exactly what I'm talking about. That said, this is an early-stage story, and the stock has been incredibly volatile. Ceres came public last June at $18, spiked 185% on its first day of trading, closing at $51 and change. Since then, though, it's been steadily downhill, with the stock getting clobbered along with the rest of the biotech space, trading down to $26 as of today. Still, there's reason to hope, including a major commercialization partnership with Nestle Health that's announced back in January, could be worth up to $1.9 billion in milestone and royalty payments over the next 15 years. Considering that Ceres has a market cap of just $1 billion, seems like a pretty big deal to me. Let's check in with Dr. Roger Pomerantz. He's the chairman, president, and CEO of Ceres Therapeutics. Find out more about his company's prospects. Dr. Pomerantz, welcome back to Mad Money. Good to see you, sir.
It's great to be invited back, Jeff.
And I mentioned that, for elderly or parents, kids who had parents that got elderly, you know that this is the trade-off. They tell you, listen, we got the thing. It's absolutely terrific. Unfortunately, it will destroy another part. You have something that doesn't necessarily have the unfortunate part to it.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jim. In your intestine are trillions of bacteria that are really part of you. You don't have a colon without your trillions of bacteria. It can't function. So when you kill those off, even if you kill off C. diff, you leave yourself open for reinfection with that and other bacteria and other medical conditions. What we do as Ceres is we replace and reconstitute that, so you now have a normal organ again, your microbiome.
Now, what seems the most important to me, and I think we got to change the dynamic of how we talk about drugs. This is a kind of a natural thing that would save the system, really, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars. And per patient, it's just extraordinary how much it costs. And yet you can still make good money.
Absolutely. So we walk in every day and we think about the patient. Right. But at the same time, we think about how we can save money for a failing health system, and we can do both. How do you do that? You go to a high unmet medical need niche, in this case, recurrent CDI. You come up with a drug that is innovative and has tremendous data, and then you use it and price it right so that you can make a fair profit for your shareholders, at the same time returning money to the failing healthcare system. We can do that in this. We've looked at it from the beginning. We believe it is a win-win. This is what drug development is or should be about.
Well, that's what interested me about Nestle, and I know you've got something to show us. Nestle wouldn't be involved, I think, unless it was kind of a natural compound. And you're a natural evolutionary kind of strain of thought. So why don't you walk us through this? Because I think it's also why Nestle might have been interested.
Sure. So let me show you an example. People think about the microbiome as though it's something unusual.
Right.
It's not. It is based on clear medical principles. Now, this ordinary-looking tree is very ordinary looking. I took this picture myself in Ghana, West Africa.
It's good photography.
Oh, it's not bad. Anyway, so this tree is one of the most famous trees on the planet. It was called the fever tree. It's really a cinchona tree. What's important about it is for generations, in order to treat malaria, you would scrape this bark, make tea, and you would get better. Then when we learn what's the active agent, and that happened in the last century, it turned out to be something called quinine, the first antimalarial drug. This is what we do at Ceres. Right. The same thing. Instead of a tree, we look at the microbiome as a natural area, a natural product. We isolate what's missing. We develop a clear, well-characterized drug. It becomes like quinine.
And okay, so let's follow up again. Nestle calls you,
correct?
Right? They read your stuff and they say, you know what? We want to partner because this is a natural solution. That's kind of Nestle's way.
Absolutely. And so when we heard from Nestle Health Sciences,
which is pretty amazing.
Well, I think that they're getting into both how you use natural approaches like the cinchona tree, like the microbiome, to make real active drugs. What does this mean for Nestle? They wanted to work with us. We wanted to launch this drug in the U.S. ourselves. We can do that. Orphan disease, I've done it before in HIV. But we did a deal with Nestle Health Sciences for the rest of the world, because we're ambitious, but we're not crazy. We believe that this drug is for every patient around the world with C. diff. It's a change in the paradigm. Working with Nestle Health Sciences, they have the global reach. They have the ability to get to every patient in a rapid but safe manner. That's our goal.
Okay, now it's important, people at home. This is speculative, but look at the price. It's come down. Nestle's is willing to partner with them for a price that, to me, says the whole company's got to be worth a lot more than it's selling, and we really only talked about one of many drugs. That's Dr. Roger Palmer. She's the chairman, president, and CEO of Series Therapeutics. The symbol is MCRB. Mad Money's back after the break. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.